Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic Tuesday, wherever you are around the world. Again, I was almost about to say Thursday, but we are on Tuesday. But hello, everyone. Hopefully, all of you have had a fantastic day, wherever you are around the world. And of course, we are back for another preview show. Of course, Liverpool v Fulham tomorrow at Anfield. Of course, this game's tried to be played once already, but it got postponed for some reason. If I can't remember why it got postponed the last time. But
FA
again,
Cup, maybe?
was it FA Cup? I feel like it was either the FA Cup or Queen's Death. I think either one of them. These days, again, it's hard to remember. It's such a horrific long season. I think that's the best way to put it. Anyway, but hopefully all of you guys are having a fantastic day. As you can see, I am joined by a very special guest, of course, Doug from the Dugout Football Channel. Doug, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Just laughing at how bad Chelsea are at the moment, but I'm
Ah,
doing very well. I hope you're good as well.
I know they are absolutely abysmal. £600 million spent on that team, and oh my god, they are so bad. Frank Lampard again winless at Chelsea so far. Is it probably the worst caretaker manager situation ever?
I think he has to be. The only one I can really sort of remember um, was Terry Connor when Mick McCarthy got sacked at Wolves. I don't think Terry Connor won a game in charge. I think that was 8 games he went defeated in 8 games. Um, but Lampard, I mean, it's the manner of the defeats as well. It's not quite like how badly they played. It's just they look unfit. They look really, really poor. And this is a big learning curve for Todd Bowley as well. When you think about it, £600 million. You know, it can either sort of derail your season or it can actually make you a lot better. But it doesn't always mean like you spend that amount of money. It doesn't always mean it's going to work out.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and of course, obviously, we'll probably speak more about Chelsea. But again, Chelsea are probably on the beach already, aren't they? Their season's over and done with for this year, of course. But of course, we are going to talk. If you guys haven't seen the shorts on the channel, of course, we are going to speak about Jurgen Klopp to begin with on the stream. Well, of course, we're going to have the full preview for you guys. But of course, we're going to speak about Jurgen Klopp being charged by the FA. Of course, for his conduct after the Spurs game. And of course, we're going to be speaking all about the latest news concerning, of course, Diogo Jota as well, and a few other players as well, and of course, start line predictions and all of that good stuff. Anyway, but we'll just get straight into it then. Of course, with Jurgen Klopp, and of course, the FA has charged him with, of course, as you can see, for their improper conduct that they imply biased or question the integrity of the referee. And of course, he has until Friday to respond, which of course, it's now the question of how long is he going to get banned for Liverpool, of course. And Doug, what's been your overall feelings around this situation with Paul Tierney and Liverpool, and now today, well, tonight at least anyway, of course, the FA now charging Jurgen with improper conduct?
I mean, I don't know what to say. It's look, I can understand where sort of Jurgen was coming from when he said he was out of line. Yeah, he was out of line, but he's not the only one that's done that. Like you see every weekend, Arteta's prowling around the touchline, and whenever a referee decision goes away, he's like flapping his arms around. He's jumping in disgust. Pep's done it. I'm sure every single manager has done it, but obviously Klopp seems to be the one that seems to be just getting instigated for it, and I just don't think it's fair. I do not think it's fair at all, and it's just ridiculous how they basically decided to charge him now. Um, like basically, Paul Tierney has always had something bad for us anyway. Like some of the decisions he's made, like that decision on Sunday, the skip one. How is that not a red card? Like I understand that he's got the ball, but it's the follow through. Now if that was Casemiro, that's a red card. So you just want consistency in these instances. But look, he's been charged. I think he is going to get a ban. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I can't see it going to be any more than 5 matches or something like that. I'd be very surprised if it's anything less than a 3-match ban. That I just think it's ridiculous. The whole thing has been ridiculous, and it just goes to show the refereeing in this country is at its lowest of the low. Because honestly, like Paul Tierney for me is the worst referee in the Premier League.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think looking at it now, I think Jurgen has admitted that he was wrong in certain aspects of it as well. I think as also there's been a massive blow up in the media, of course, obviously with I think especially Talksport when they were going on about it, and it was like, well, the PGMLO, they're either calling their own bluff or they're calling Jurgen Klopp a liar. And of course, I think with Jurgen clarifying today about what Paul Tierney said in terms of course, when he showed him the yellow card, in terms of, again, if it wasn't for him, I would be sending you off, which I think that in itself is a little bit, weird, because again, it's like, I think Jurgen said he never expected a red card from that. There was no, foul mouthing, or of course nothing, angrily done towards the fourth official in that regard as well. And of course, I absolutely agree with what you said as well. You've seen other managers do this. You've seen, even this season, you've seen Arteta mocking the referee at time. Guardiola as well, of course, famously screaming twice at Anfield as well. And of course, it's not. And of course, we're not saying that. Of course, Jurgen was right to do what he did. Obviously, the quote unquote shithousery of it on Sunday was good and nice to obviously witness. But I think obviously looking back at it now, of course, it was a moment of just pure passion, I would say. And of course that's when you're fueled by anger as well. Of course, you do make mistakes as well. But I think obviously I'm just looking now. Ferguson got charged with it back in 2011, and the highest he got was 5 games. A 5-match ban is the highest that a manager has got charged with it. So again, I think 5 games would be unnecessary, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I think Jurgen said, we've seen earlier on in terms of Jurgen said he now expects a punishment. I think a maximum of maybe 3 games. Again, I still think even a 1-game ban would be correct, because again, it's similar towards a red card for me if you're going to ban him in that aspect of things. And I think, of course, managers, they only get banned for 1 match if they are shown a red card anyway. So again, for me, I think, and obviously I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comments, but I think in particular it is very much on the cases of, look, he's got charged, now just move on from it. But yeah, Paul Tierney for me, I won't be refereeing another Liverpool game for quite some time. I would say anyway, and good riddance as well. But again, I don't want to have a go at the. Well, I do a little bit want to go at the officials, but we have the best league in the world. I said this on Sunday as well. We have the best, in terms of football, in terms of everything. Liverpool, the Premier League is the best. The officiating is the worst part of the Premier League. It's so bad in terms of the rest of Europe. I think, we talk about the French league being a farmers' league. I think French football are miles ahead in terms of refereeing. I think on French TV they get referees on to speak about certain incidences, and I think that's what has to happen. I know beforehand they used to have these things with Sky Sports, but obviously with social media being a thing, I think they've removed that now nowadays in our coverage as well. But for me, I think it's something that has to come back instead of us, speaking about it on 2 days on from the game. Exactly. So for me, I think something needs to be brought out to question the referees on certain incidences, and especially like when you've got a big call. And again, if it needs an investigation, then again, for me, it has to be some clarity on that. Because again, nothing got clarified until yesterday afternoon on what was going to happen.
Yeah. And that's the thing as well. Like you see in like France, they like now I think they've kind of sort of mic'd the refs up, so you can actually like hear what they're saying. To be fair, like the French league, the Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga, they're very very good with VAR. It's just when it comes to England and I'll add Scotland into that because obviously with me obviously watching Scottish football as well. They, everyone's divided over VAR up here. Everyone is divided of whether it's good or not. But I just think as well, it's just not used right in the in the UK. Unfortunately, I think it's used right more often in sort of the European leagues.
Yeah, absolutely. Ritesh says if the FA have nothing to hide, then they should release the footage. They have said that the audio will get released after the FA's investigation. So I don't know whether or not if that is included in if Jurgen, obviously Jurgen's got charged now, but whether or not he gets of course when he gets banned or so on. I don't know whether or not then if he'll get released. I'm not particularly sure as well. But it doesn't matter what other managers do though. Doug, Klopp was out of order again in my opinion. He's always losing control. I think it's more passion though, Bry. And again, when you look at the situation, of course, Jurgen spoke about in terms of, again, I think what he did after the game was on, again, passion and anger, which of course isn't the best situation, especially when you've got, of course, Sky Sports interviewing you with stupid questions. But I think that what he spoke about in terms of the foul on Mo, and he said it was the exact same situation when, of course, Jurgen got sent off earlier on in the season with Mo Salah. It's exactly the same. Mo gets dragged and pulled, and just because one little flick to Ben Davies' mouth, and he goes down crying, then again it gets pulled back to a Spurs foul, which again realistically should have been a Liverpool foul. And then that led to the third goal, which of course Liverpool could have been walking away from that game drawing, and then of course from 3-0 down, from 3-0 up. Sorry. So again, I think it's right that they've charged him, but again, I think on the punishment side of things, again, I think it should be light, because I think even when people are talking about points deduction and that, that's a laughable thing. I feel personally, anyway, but. We will move on, and of course, if anyone does have their thoughts and opinions as well, let us know in the comments down below as well. But we will move on to Fulham, and we'll take a look at the latest, obviously, scores between the two sides as well. Of course, Fulham having an unbelievable season this year. I don't think anyone at the start of the season thought that they could do what they've quite done this season. But obviously, if we take a look at the latest games between the two, of course, earlier on, obviously the first game of the season, of course, Liverpool drawing by 2-2. Of course, Fulham beating us 1-0 and then drawing. So, in recent form, of course, Fulham have got the upper hand on Liverpool in that regard as well. But of course, obviously, looking back at the 2019 Liverpool win 2-1 and 2-0 back in 2018 as well. But Doug, what have you made of Fulham's season? Of course, at the moment, not flying as high as what they have done over the season. Of course, I think that's understandable when the likes of Mitrovic isn't there. But of course, last time out against against City as well, maybe could have got something in that game as well. Probably a bit unlucky not to get anything from that game. But what's your overall thoughts on Fulham's season as a whole, and how do you see them coming into this game as well?
I think they've been excellent. I think they've exceeded expectations. I don't think they were quite expecting to be sort of top half. But I've got to say, I think Marco Silva's done a magnificent job. And you look around the team as well, like Anthony Robinson, Tim Ream, who is actually out tomorrow. He's a big blow. Tim Ream, I think he's been excellent at the centre back position as well. Then obviously Kenny Tete, another player that goes under the radar. You could go through it. Jair Polinia, Mitrovic has been, very, very good. Even though Carlos Vinicius seems to be, popping up with a few goals as well. I think Fulham have been excellent. I really think that they've had a very, very good season. They always seem to make it tricky for teams as well. And yeah, you're right. I mean, I looked at the game against City at the weekend, and they're fabulous. They were very, very unlucky to lose in the end. could have snatched a draw, could have done this, but no, look, I think it's going to be a tricky game tomorrow. They've already won on Merseyside this season anyway, so it'll be a very tricky game tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as Brian said in the comments, obviously Pereira is a big loss, and he is a big loss. And just looking at his Premier League stats now, 6 assists and 4 goals this season in the league. I think one guy as well that I think has consistently scored as well for Fulham has been is Solomon. As well, that purple patch he had back a couple of weeks ago, where I think he scored first in the FA Cup and then kept on scoring this season as well. But I think one player that, of course, Liverpool have been linked to as well this for the summer, of course, is João Paulinho. I think he's been a solid player. I don't think people expected to see how good he's done in the Premier League, and at Fulham as well. And like you said, Tete as well. I think he's a very solid right back as well, and of course Leno as well. I think Leno has done a quite decent job there as well. Especially when you heard from Arsenal fans at the start of the season, where they were like, oh, he's not it anymore. He's probably do a good job for a low end Premier League team. But again, I think Leno's done perfectly well when I've watched Fulham this season as well. But yeah, obviously big misses. Just having a quick look now at the list between the two teams. Obviously, for Fulham, like we've already mentioned, Willian also is a doubt for Fulham. I don't know if he'll be back in time for tomorrow, but again, Pereira is a huge miss as well. And obviously, how many games does Mitrovic have left now on his ban? Is it
3? I think. Yeah, I think he's. I think he'll be back very, very soon. I think it's 3 games that he's missing. So he's got this one. He's got the weekend, and then I think he's got the other weekend as well. Hi, Guy. Hope you're well. Yeah, I think he'll be back soon. He'll be back soon for sure. Who Fulham got actually left? They got Leicester the weekend. Can't even think who else they've got actually.
I'm just I'll have a quick look now at their fixtures. So Fulham have got they've got, of course, us tomorrow. They've got Leicester at home, Southampton away, Palace at home, Manchester United away, and yeah, that's their final game of the season. It is Manchester United away. So again, looking at we'll have a look at the league table in a moment. But again, 10th place at the moment. Again, I think that, of course, the number one goal for this season for Fulham was to stay in the Premier League. And Marco Silva's done that. And I think obviously from the first game of the season, I think we were all pretty much impressed by Fulham. Because again, Mitrovic looked. I think we did a preview before the start of the season. I think everyone said if Mitrovic can continue that form going into next season, then Fulham will be absolutely fine. I think I had Fulham going down as well in my preview. So when we look back at that, sorry, again, I think quite clearly there's going to be a few dodgy mistakes. Of course, I think I had Liverpool winning the league as well, which, again, looking at that now is not the best in that bracket anyway. But of course, moving on to Liverpool. Anyway, Doug, of course, Jurgen confirming today that no Diogo Jota potentially for the Reds, which of course that's a big blow. Of course, I think Bobby's in training, which is good news.
That's good news.
And Naby, if you want to include that in that regard. But one guy I want to ask you about, and of course, obviously, I think he's been openly criticised over the season for Liverpool. But I want to talk a little bit about Curtis Jones. In your opinion, for me, the last 5-6 games has been amazing in that new position on the left-hand side. How have you felt about Curtis Jones' progress over the last couple of weeks, but more importantly, how do you see his position for next season as well?
I think he's been excellent the last 5-6 games. I like the fact that he added a goal the weekend. I think that's something he needs to add to his game is goals. And I thought the goal he scored at the weekend was lovely play from obviously Trent, and he's in the right position. Like he's sort of he has those positions when he plays for like England, sort of under 21s and that, and it's quite rare to see him do it in a Liverpool shirt. But no, I think he's been fabulous offensively and defensively as well. But I think this is a sort of a time now where I think he's at a bit of a crossroads, I would say. I think he kind of needs to progress now because if we think about the players who've obviously came through, Harvey Elliott, his progress has probably gone on further than obviously Curtis Jones. You look obviously Trent, Rakitic as well. Like those are two players that have been very, very good. So I think Curtis Jones is at a career and at a stage in his career now where I think he just needs to have a run in the team, and he's done that. To be fair, he has been fabulous. He's come up with a few assists. He's come up with a goal as well. And at the moment, you have to say he's pretty undroppable. You have to say that. I know there's obviously a lot of more games coming up very, very shortly. And we've obviously got Brentford at the weekend as well. But the way he's playing, you can't really drop him at the moment.
No, I absolutely agree as well. And as Vasena said there, Curtis actually found a position more suited to him, more as a left mid than a CM as well. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? In this new hybrid system that we've got, it does massively help the likes of Curtis Jones, because again, we've all said that he's not quite a Liverpool number 8. He's not good enough really to be in the front three, and he's kind of in that in the halfway point of both positions in many respects, which again in this role he works absolutely perfectly for as well. But as you mentioned, as like Brian has said as well, in terms of Jones, Bajcetic and Elliott are new midfield. So yeah, and again, I think people have forgotten a little bit about Bajcetic in terms of next season as well. Like when you think about it, we've got Bajcetic, Jones, Elliott, then of course the rotation between Henderson, Thiago, Fabinho, if Fabinho's still around, and of course with the new signings coming in as well. Obviously, we're all hoping for obviously the likes of McAllister, Ugarte potentially as well. Of course, there's plenty of options for Liverpool, and when you think about it, Liverpool don't need that major surgery that we've been speaking about. Well, of course, they need surgery. Don't get us wrong, but I don't think it's as life-threatening as what I think has been made out so much on social media. Of course, it needs fixing. And of course, I think if we want to go back to the style that we like to go with the 4-3-3, I think, again, some things have to change, whether or not if that's Trent staying a right back or going into midfield. But again, obviously, hopefully Jurgen can figure out through pre-season, and of course, hopefully next season Liverpool will be obviously firing on all cylinders as well. But I will ask you this, Douglas, before we do move on: is it possible Liverpool could still get Champions League, or do you think it is dead and buried? Because judging from social media, it's dead and buried.
Well, there's always a chance if you remember that
chance, according to Opta.
7%. I think we'd have to hope that Manchester United go in a bit of like a losing run. I've got to be honest. Their game against Brighton at the weekend on Thursday. That's a potential game they could potentially lose, because they did get thumped 4-0 there last season, and Brighton have just put 6 past Wolves as well. So West Ham away, never easy. I do think now it's between us and Manchester United for top 4. I think Newcastle are almost there. I think they need 2 more wins. I think John Sinclair was telling me the other day. They literally need 2 more wins. Newcastle. They might even get one against Arsenal, to be perfectly honest with you, on Sunday. I think the best we can think.
Sorry, I'm sorry to butt in. Supposedly, Thiago is out for the rest of the season. A little bit of breaking news. Thiago is set to be out for a significant period and will require an operation, according to Jack Talbot.
Oh, Jesus.
Wonderful, guys.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I think as I said, I think it's between us and Manchester United for top four. I think it's a big ask because we can only get 71 points. I think Manchester United can get, I think, 76.
Yeah.
I may have done my math wrong there, but it is going to be close between Manchester United and Liverpool, I think.
I think if you look at it, Liverpool have to, of course, Liverpool have to win every single game to even be a possibility. But United need 2 losses and a draw.
Yeah.
Which again, and as Brian said, but top 4 is gone. I think it's gone, but like the one thing I will say is, United dropped. Obviously, this is way out of context. But United dropped, what was it, 8 points in 4 games or like 5 games when they were, when Man City were the title back in 2011 or something like that. Was it?
Yeah.
So again, never say never. But yeah, I think top 4 is gone, if I'm being perfectly honest as well. But yeah, obviously breaking news as well. Thiago looks like he's going to be requiring surgery as well at the moment. Let me just quickly see if that's correct as well. Yeah, according to Jack Talbot, Thiago is out for a considerable period. Liverpool midfielder requires an operation. So wonderful chat, absolutely wonderful as well. But obviously, we'll move on and we'll get on to starting 11 predictions. And Doug, with that news, obviously Thiago's out of availability as well. But what would be your team to face Fulham if you were Jurgen Klopp?
I think it'd be Ali, Trent, Kanate, Van Dijk, Robertson. I don't really see many changes there. To be honest with you, Fabinho, Jones, Henderson, and then I think it'll be the same front three: Diaz, Gakpo, and Salah.
That's exactly what I've gone for. Yep, that's exactly what the team I've gone for. Yeah, Ali, Trent, Kanate, Van Dijk, Robbo, Fabinho, Henderson, Curtis Jones, Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo, and Mohamed Salah. At the minute, I think that is, at the moment, Liverpool's best team. I do think though next season, I think if Liverpool get their act together, I think Darwin Núñez comes into that equation as well. Again, obviously the media, or the media and the online situation around Darwin Núñez at the minute is an absolute laughing stock.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
When you've got people going, oh, would you give, if somebody come in with 60 million in the summer, would you sell Darwin Núñez? Absolutely not. Darwin Núñez is going to be an absolute star in the future. He's 23. Is he 23? 24? Somewhere around there. I think he's 23.
I think this is where it really, really bugs me. He had a very poor first season at Benfica. Then the second season, he was fantastic. I just think he just needs a bit of time. I don't think. I think his first season's been all right. I said anything between 15 to 20 league, 15 to 20 goals in all comps is good.
Top scorer in the club, apart from Mo. That's the thing. The thing is though as well. Sorry, Doug, it's the fact that you're spot on in terms of. Again, he struggled at Almeria, I believe, in Spain. Struggled at Benfica in the first season, and in both of his second seasons at the 2 clubs, he absolutely destroyed, the expectation barrier. And again, of course, with Liverpool now in the new system and that, again, I don't think this hybrid formation, I don't think it sticks around next season. If I'm being perfectly honest. But again, if Liverpool do adopt to a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, go back to it, again, I think Darwin Núñez is the best for that number 9 position. All said that Darwin, look at Erling Haaland. Imagine if Erling Haaland was in this Liverpool team at the minute. He wouldn't be on anywhere near the amount of goals that he would be. I think, again, Darwin has struggled in terms of Liverpool as well. And I also think Liverpool bought Darwin Núñez probably a year too early. I think we had to buy him, of course, because Sadio Mane was going. And I think obviously if we hadn't bought him, he would have ended up at Manchester United as well. So again, Darwin Núñez would be a star. I have absolutely no doubt about that as well. But Doug, what would be your score prediction as well for tomorrow?
It's difficult one. I'm going 2-1. I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool. I think it'll be a very, very nervy game. I think they'll give us a good game, and I have a feeling it'll be. I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool.
I'm going to go 3-1 for me. I
3-1.
think it'll be. I think it might go 2-1, and then it'll be like, oh, who gets the next goal, and then Liverpool will hopefully kill the game off. Then hopefully we have the same first 15 minutes, but over a longer period than what it was against Spurs, of course. But yeah, that's the thing for me. Like again, we just need to be able to hold on to games, because again, Spurs should never have been in the conversation in that game, in my opinion. Again, Liverpool should have killed the game off, and we didn't at that time as well. So hopefully, again, Liverpool can act upon it tomorrow anyway. But obviously, guys got their starting predictions in the comments. Well, Gary's got Ali, Gomez, Van Dijk, Canate, Robertson, Trent, Elliott, Thiago. Obviously, Thiago's out, so we're not going to have Thiago, unfortunately. Gakpo, Núñez, and Salah as well. Anyway, but of course, guys, we are going to leave it there for tonight. Sorry it's such a short stream, but we're going to, again, keep it short tonight as well, because, of course, obviously, we have more news concerning with the, obviously, Thiago, obviously, at the moment. I'm just trying to quickly see if anyone else is confirming it as well. But at the moment as well, it's also 3-1 to Arsenal as well. Obviously, Chelsea have scored in the second half as well. But before we do go off anyway, of course, we'll bring up Brian's comment saying the problem with Núñez is where he plays. If it's 3 up front, he's not playing the false 9 role, and Diaz is the left-sided option, and Gakpo starts. It's not straightforward. No, it's not. But I also think once Liverpool has their midfield, I think Liverpool can press from the midfield, because when you look at it at the moment, like Liverpool go into a mid block team. We don't go high pressing. We go mid block and then just invite the pressure on. I feel like that's purely down to the midfield. I think once we've got the midfielders that we want in at the moment, again, hopefully, that we can start to press like we used to back in the days. But of course, we have to get back to our thing. But yeah, no, again, I think it offers a great great options. Again, Darwin and Cody Gakpo, they're 2 different complete players. I think all of us in January thought that Cody Gakpo would be coming in off the left, but I think he's much better as that false 9, like we've spoken about. So he is that Bobby replacement. And again, he can only get better, realistically. Again,
yeah.
I think Jurgen spoke about it and said that, again, he's only now learning the false 9 role. Give him another, 6 months and pre-season, then Jesus Christ, could you imagine a Cody Gakpo and under a pre-season under Jurgen Klopp as well. But obviously, lads, well, hello, look at Ricky in the comments. On another note, Bournemouth versus Chelsea could be 007.
Yes, it could well be.
Wait there, couldn't Bournemouth overtake them as well?
Yes.
Oh my God. I'm laughing. Bournemouth beat us, but I don't care. That's brilliant as well. But Chelsea terrible, wasn't they? A point ahead of us at one point. Yeah, I think they was. I think it was before. Was it before the World Cup? I think they were above us.
It would have been, yeah. I think it was. I think it would have been before the World Cup. Yeah. They're just a shambles from top to bottom. Honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Where's my info? Post-match. There we go. I'll get you on the post-match. To be fair, but Klopp likes a defensive 9. One likes a goal-scoring 1. I think if you can get a mixture of both, it'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? No, but look, I think it'll be the only word I can use is interesting for next summer, because I don't think anyone has an idea what Klopp's going to go with pre-season. I think it's exciting, but it's also nervous to think about, like, what's next for Liverpool. And obviously, Jurgen's spoken about building a new team. Again, what does that new team look like? It'll be a very interesting anyway, of course, in pre-season. But of course, we still have 4 games to play this season. So hopefully, the Reds can get maximum points from that at least anyway. But Doug, thank you very much for coming on, mate. Do you have anything to say before we do head off?
Yeah, let's get this man to actually. Well, Christ, I don't know how to do this. That way, yeah. Yeah, get Connor to 1K as soon as possible. I couldn't think of a more deserving person to get to 1K. Puts as much effort into his channel than anybody does. And it's all about supporting each other as well. So, but no, thank you very much for having me. It's great to come back on. It has been a while. And I certainly need to get you back on my channel very, very soon. As well, I wasn't sure if you were busy or not to get on my Fulham preview or that, but no, we'll get you.
I was watching the preview for Chelsea Arsenal. I'm not gonna lie, I was watching it downstairs. So again, I'll have to come on for who have we got? We got Brentford potentially, is it? So again,
Brentford. Leicester, yeah, Leicester's another one.
Jesus Christ! I gotta get Anton. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be a fun stream. That is. Oh Jesus Christ! I'm not looking forward to that. Oh no. I don't want that. To be fair, depending on where Leicester are, because of course we haven't really spoken about in terms of Leeds as well. Of course, Sam Allardyce is back in the Premier League. Which, Jesus Christ, like.
I mean, that if you had said that in 2003, then I would believe you. But it's 2023. It's mental. Actually, to be fair, Hodgson, Allardyce.
Is it true that he gets 500 grand per game?
I believe so. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So it's right there. If he was 30. So yeah, no. So if that was 38 games per, throughout a season, he'd end up getting what, just short of, is it 35 mil or somewhere around there?
Something like that, yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. But again, apparently he gets a £4 million bonus as well from when I was looking earlier on the Athletic. So again, ridiculous as well. Of course, we've got Frank Lampard, Chelsea manager, Big Sam back at Leeds, and of course we've got Roy Hodgson as well at Palace, which again, the Premier League, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, but obviously, big thank you to Doug for coming on as well. Of course, guys, if you are new around here, please hit the like button. Please head over to, of course, Doug on Football Channel. We'll get Doug's link in the comments as well. So please go and check out Doug's channel as well if you're not already. And again, yeah, we're 11 away from 1K, so if we can get there by next week, I'll be very happy as well. Of course, the predictor says I think we're 12 days off, so if we can beat that, of course, it'll be very much appreciated as always. Anyway, but until next time, guys, obviously we'll be back tomorrow for our post-match reaction to hopefully Liverpool beating Fulham as well. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from us. I've been Connor from the Cup Council. See you all later. Goodbye.